no more Space Wolves. I'm bored of these. I've got something new and shiny to play with. Or some Chaos Terminators. Obviously, I am only joking. I will carry on with the Space Wolves soon. We'll get back to these. But I was in town the other day, and in WH Smith's of all places, I saw this, the Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol, and it was £10 for 5 Chaos Terminators. And I was like, how can I say no to that? Like, other than just being like a really good deal, I absolutely love the Terminators. They were the first set I ever brought, so I've really got like a soft spot for them. So I thought it'd be really fun in this video just to take a little break from the Space Wolves. We'll come back to them next video, but I thought it'd be fun to do something a little bit different. Our first ever Chaos Terminators. I've done one Chaos before, did the Blight Hauler, the Nurgle, but these guys look unbelievable. Big, chunky black and gold Terminators with all the spikes and the edgy stuff. So let's take this Combat Patrol issue 40 and build up and paint our first ever Chaos Terminator. So here we go, 5 whole Terminators in one pack. What a good time. And these look unbelievable. Like some of the stuff on here, like this huge Gatling gun. Tell you what I am super excited for though, these little bits up here, like the spikes with Space Marine helmets in them. Like these are cool. I'm excited to like, put these on one of the Terminators and paint the head kind of like a chapter. I don't know, like a Space Wolf maybe. So yeah, super excited for this bit. But let's crack open this book and see how to build these guys. Cool, so we've got all the variants. I want the guy with the big gun. So let's make a start on this. We'll grab 58, 59 and 60 for a body and just glue them into a base. Cool, so there's our chunky body all glued to the base, and this is awesome, man. There's so many cool little details I didn't see at first. Like, I knew all these big panels from like the other Terminators, and I know there's lots of gold trim, but like, I didn't realize there was a skull, some chainmail. I don't even know what this like, cracked open bit in the middle is. Even like the faces on the knees, skulls everywhere. Yeah, these boys are sick. Cool, so what's next? We've got the gun and an arm. I did have a little look through to see if there was anything else we could give him other than just a hand, but it looks like it's just a pointy finger, so we'll stick with that. So we've got to get number 72 to 73, 70 and 71. Do we want a fist? Yeah, I like the fist. So that's his arm glued on, and then also this, I was going to say minigun, but it's anything but mini. It's honestly probably the biggest piece I've ever clipped out and used. Like, look at the size of it. It's almost as big as the actual model itself. I mean, it is, like, it's, yeah, as tall as it, and wider. I didn't really want to sub-assemble any of this. I kind of wanted just to put it all together and build it as one. But this thing does cover up so much. Like, it's going to be so hard to get into some of these side bits and the inside of the gun. So I will leave this off, but that'll be the only thing I leave off. So, next up, I think we've just got some little auxiliary bits, and then that's it. It is, yeah, the 2, like, spike trophy things, a face and the shoulder pads, and this is all like selectable, right? So if we go back to, so we've got a head to pick from. I quite like number 61, it looks quite cool at the Tusks. Make sure you pair the racks as shown below. Okay, yeah, sure, so we can pick 2. Let's go with 50 and 51, I think. Just some smallish ones, because it's got so much going on below the body with the gun. I kind of want to keep the top a little bit simpler, rather than have like 3 skulls and a helmet, just something small. And then 2 shoulder pads. Let's go with 20 and 38. They seem quite cool. So yeah, let's get all those out. Oh my god. I mean, that's pretty much done, but wow, if you told me these spikes are like universally hated by people in the community, I'd believe you. This is the first Chaos Terminator I've ever done, so I don't really know what the vibe is of them. I've not really looked into anything for it, to be honest. But yeah, these were an absolute nightmare, because like there was little extra bits of sprue left on the bottom of them from when I clipped them off. And normally I just like use a hobby knife to like scratch it off, but they're so thin and they're so like fiddly. I was scared I was going to just snap it in half. And then yeah, when I was trying to stick it down, there was little bits of plastic and trying to balance them. Even now they're not fully straight or stuck down, but like super hard to get that right. I'm too scared to touch them in case they fall apart, but yeah, not a massive fan of them. But yeah, that's all of it. Man, hey, look at me. Look at this guy. There's so much going on. Like if we compare them to the other Terminators I did, so I just got the base standard Space Marine Terminators. Yeah, look at that. It's like, God, it's like a Terminator on steroids. They're actually a little bit smaller, I think. Oh, I had no idea. They're just a teeny tiny bit smaller, but yeah, they've got the tusks, the skull, the chainmail, everything. There's so much more going on with them, so I'm probably keen to try this. So I guess next up is a black undercoat. I've got Citadel Chaos Black I'm just going to use. Yeah, it says here. So I'm just going to, for the paint job, I'm just going to follow this how to paint book. Literally just as it is, as it's presented, because I thought that'd be quite fun. So it does say to base coat it with Abaddon Black, and it's like a, to be fair, it doesn't look like they've used a primer at all on this. Wild. I am going to use a can of Abaddon Black though to give it a base coat, and then we can start working through all these pages. Right, so they're both pieces are primed. We've got the gun, which is the only sub-assembly I've done that's in Abaddon Black, or Chaos Black, sorry. And then this poor guy, who I'm going to be honest with you, has taken a tumble. So sometimes, if I'm feeling lazy and I can't be bothered to go downstairs, I'll just like undercoat out the window. Like I'll just hold it out the window and I'll just spray all the fumes outside. And it finally happened. It finally fell out of my hand. And this box went tumbling from the second floor all the way down to the ground with the mini still on it. Like, luckily it's blue tacked, so like it doesn't actually fall off. But yeah, this guy's falling out of a window. I mean, he's actually, to be fair, he's perfectly fine. I expected like everything to explode off of him, but no, he's okay. It's too funny. So yeah, both of them undercoated in Chaos Black. And I know you're meant to, when it comes to black undercoats, do a layer of Abaddon Black on the top. Like, because the undercoat colour isn't the same as the primer from the can, so you make little mistakes and you touch up with the Abaddon Black, it looks a little bit different. But I'm feeling a little bit lazy today, as evident with the window priming. So what we're going to do is going to leave it as the Chaos Black for now, and then maybe later on, if it's really looking like a mess, we can kind of fill in the black sections with Abaddon Black, just to save some time. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through the book as if we've literally, that's all we've got. Wherever it is, there it is. So there's this cool building guide we've just followed, and then the next page, how to paint. I've had a flick through it, it's actually quite cool, you know. Like this, I've heard of Combat Patrol before, like the magazine, you can order it online, some places in store do it. And yeah, it's like £10 a week or like £40 a month, and they give you like little bits and bobs to paint. But I didn't realise that the book also comes with like the full how to paint guide as well. It's quite cool. So seeing as this is the first Combat Patrol we've ever done, I thought it'd be fun just to follow the guide, like step by step, like all the sections. So yeah, let's work through this little book and see how we get on. Cool, so the first step is Abaddon Black, but like we mentioned, we're just going to stick with the Chaos Black spray for now, see how that goes. So then steps 2, 3, 4, and have sneaked ahead at 5, it's just a Leadbelcher. A lot of Leadbelcher. So we've got the weapons, some of the chains on the model. So like we've got, yeah, some chains on his little belt, I can kind of see. Some coming off the shoulder. Yeah, there's some pipes as well, which I'm assuming are going to be Leadbelcher. Base coat the tips of the spikes on the trophy racks. Yep. Yeah, the hydraulics on the back of the leg. Cool. So it's just lather on a whole load of Leadbelcher. Oh boy, that is a lot of silver on that gun. I mean, it's all just silver. I know some of these trims are going to be gold and the skulls are going to be gold, as well as the bullets, but, well, yeah, it's just a big block of Leadbelcher. I mean, to be fair, the other minigun I did was kind of similar. There was some more black casing on it, but for the most part, it was just a block of Leadbelcher. I mean, this thing is like almost twice the size of it though. Wow, look at that. So yeah, with that done, let's move on to a lot of the armour ribbings, the chain on the armour, and some of the spikes. Oh, I do like this. I like all these little bits on the back, like the gaps in the armour, like the chunks and the fill-ins. It kind of just adds a little bit something extra to it. And these black vents as well that look all chipped and damaged. Yeah, I kind of like this sort of like worn effect that the Chaos Terminators have. Cool, but the next up is a step I'm actually quite excited for, and that is, I believe, Retributor Armour? Yeah. So we've got all the Leadbelcher we've just done, and next up, yeah, look at all of that gold. Wow. So base coat the armour trim with Retributor. This will take a while. Yeah, no doubt. When I was doing all of the Leadbelcher, I was looking at all of the chunks and I was like, should that be Leadbelcher? I'm like, oh no, wait, that's armour trim for gold. That's armour trim for gold. Everything. Every section I looked at, I was like, man, there's a lot of trim. So yeah, we'll just slap on all the Retributor Armour for the trim, and then there's also the details on the weapons, like we mentioned. It'll be the skulls, I think. Oh, and the bullets. So yeah, we'll start off with the armour, and then we'll finish up on the gun. Oh boy, that's all the gold done, and wow, there was a lot. A lot more than I thought, and I already thought there was going to be loads. You can tell it took me ages because it's a new day, like it's the morning of tomorrow. So yeah, so we've got all of the armour trims and this huge weapon, and I will say, it's really coming together already. Like, this adds so much to it. I was a little bit apprehensive about the minigun being all silver when I looked at it. I was like, man, this is a lot of blob of silver. Like, they're going to look good. But now it's got like the armour trim, the gold sections. I love these like screaming skulls on it. It's so cool. I'm actually really keen to put some Nuln Oil all over it to see how that turns out. But I think that's one of the last steps. But yeah, armour's looking great. Like, it's so shiny. There's so much gold. I've never done a model with so much gold on it. It's incredible though, to be fair. Like, I really like it. It adds a cool look to him. One thing that's really annoying though is I was trying to be really delicate because, like I mentioned, we've not done an Abaddon black base. We've just left the Chaos black spray on. So I didn't want to get too messy because we're going to use Abaddon black to clean it up, and that might clash with the two blacks. But we'll see how that looks because I have been quite messy. There's some bits that need tidying up. But yeah, coming along quite nicely. And I will say, actually, this book, where is it? Blocking off the Space Force. No, we're not doing that. Let's pretend it's not there. This is really good. Like, one thing that's really good in this book that I've appreciated is if we go to the back, it's got like proper 360 views of each model. Yeah, I was like, oh, what colour should like this bit be and this bit? And like, sometimes on guides and on box art, it's kind of hard to find pictures of specific sections. But no, this book really highlights each individual part and is like, no, this back corner down here is this colour, this little nook in here is this colour. So I like that a lot. Okay, so what we've got next is, just going through the book. Yeah, cool. So we've got Mephiston Red for some of the cloth and the eyes, and then we've got a brown for the wood and any leather or any cloth on him. It says to use cat flesh, but I've not got that, so I might use like dried bark or Rhinox Hide. I'll use Rhinox Hide. Seems like a bit more of a lighter brown. The model's already dark and black anyway. So yeah, let's crack on with those two bits. Cool, so that's the red and the browns done, and to be fair, there wasn't a lot. Like, brown was just the fur here and the spikes at the top, like that was all the brown. And then the red was the loincloth in the middle and the eyes, and I'm a big fan of this loincloth in the middle. It really breaks up the black and the gold, adds like a little bit of vibrant pop to the model. It's cool. So next up, keen for the next step, because it is a Wraithbone. It is the skulls on top, because we've got a helmet, so we don't need to do this. Yeah, the skulls and the bones in the top, and then I think on his tusks as well. Yeah, the tusks. And, oh, there's teeth. Oh, I painted them gold, I think. Oh, yeah, okay. I see there is a couple floating around. They're meant to be Wraithbone. Alright, cool. So I'll tell you what, we'll just tidy up with the Wraithbone. And then we get to move on to the part I'm most excited for, the Space Marine helmet. Look at that, it's really coming together now. That Wraithbone's added a lot to it, to be fair. Like, this upper half was pretty plain prior to the Wraithbone, but it's added like a lot of colour, a lot of pop to it. Kind of helps break up all that like black armour. So next up is the bit I was most excited for, and kind of the coolest thing I thought about these when I saw them. You get to paint the little helmet whatever colour you want. How cool is that? So there's like a destroyed Space Marine helmet up here, and you get to paint it for whatever faction or whatever chapter you like. So like it says here, you can use it to tell a story of the enemies the Terminators have defeated and all sorts. Which is sweet. I am going to go with boring Macragge Blue though, just because it's a colour I haven't used in ages. I started with it, and then I put it away when I moved on to like the Terminators and the Black Templar and the Space Wolves, so I haven't actually got it out in ages. So it'll be real fun to use this again. Cool, there's a first layer of Macragge Blue, and I kind of just realised I haven't mentioned, but I am doing like 2 thin layers and everything. So you'll see this is quite a thin, watered down layer. So I'm going to let that dry and apply a second. I've just not really been showing it in the videos just because it'd take like twice as long and be really boring. But yeah, what I'm going to do is wait for this to dry, slap on another layer of the Macragge Blue, and then also fill in some of the Leadbelcher details. There's a couple of little bits here and there that need to be silver. So that's all of the base colours done, according to the book, and that also includes the skull in the middle of his cloth and the skull on his side that I completely missed in that last like mini review. I'm sure people were like screaming at the monitor being like, you've missed these obvious things, but it's okay, we got them, it's alright, they're there. So yeah, that's all of the base colours done. The next up, it says to do in the book, all of the shades. So you've got like this page. You've got like Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade, and Reikland Fleshshade. And I do want to do that, but before that, I actually want to do some edge highlighting, because on the final page, it's like, here they are, they're done, this is what they look like, and then literally the next section is a picture of them all like edge highlighted and defined and like all that depth on them. So what I want to do, even though it's not mentioned in the book, I want to try some edge highlights. What I want to do, because it's black armor, I want to use the same edge highlight colors that I use for the black weapons on the Space Wolves. So it's like a way to get some good practice in for it as well. So we're going to use some, some Dark Reaper, sorry. Going to use some Dark Reaper as like a big chunky highlight around all the trim, and a couple of spot highlights of Thunderhawk Blue on like the top sections. So let's try and give that a go. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. I mean, it does say work in progress at the top, but it's like, oh look, your Chaos Terminators are done for now. Look at like how they should look. And then literally the next section is like another picture of them, but fully highlighted and looking absolutely stunning. So although it doesn't mention what to do with the edge highlights in this book, it just says doing the shading. I want to give it a go anyway to see if we can get closer to this cool look here. So let's grab some Dark Reaper. There it is. And we're just going to see if we can try and do some highlights. Is it even still called edge highlighting? Because it's not the same as before where you're like running along the edge of things. It's kind of like freehanding in between the armor trim, like you're kind of following that, which will be very interesting to try and do. Yeah, that's not horrendous. Some sections are quite good, like at the top of his fist here I quite like. That's alright. Around the shoulder is okay. Some sections it's just a little bit too thick, like the shoulder just there is quite chunky. On his like knee here with the mouth on it is alright. Around the back, there's a whole bunch of like little inner panels here that I've probably forgotten about. Oh no, I think I've done them all. Yeah, well overall it's not looking that bad. What I could do is, I wonder if I could put like a side by side, so if I just leave this here, pop up a before image after maybe, see what that looks like. Maybe spin it around as well so we can compare if the edge highlighting has ruined it or not. Sometimes it's hard to tell how a model looks when I'm sitting like here looking down from this angle under this light, and especially when I've been staring at it for so long. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. I just don't think like, has this improved it? Has this made it worse? I think it's okay. It doesn't pop out as much as like on the books. Maybe they've used a brighter colour. Yeah, like, to be fair, these books are quite good to look at to see if you've like hit everywhere. One thing I think it is good on is the face, actually. I think I've done quite right on the face, but I'm going to go over some of that face with the Thunderhawk Blue just because it's like near the top. So tell you what, let's do that now quickly. Let's go with the Thunderhawk Blue on the face. Oh yeah, I much prefer the Thunderhawk Blue. That looks really nice on the top of the head and that sort of top of the main section. So we've done like this top up here, Thunderhawk, and then underneath is Dark Reaper. So what I might do is try doing some really fine edge highlights over the Dark Reaper. Maybe on the top sections, try something like this. Use the Dark Reaper as like a thick chunky highlight, and then the Thunderhawk as like a really fine, just extra little bit. But I might do it just in the top sections that are going to be showing off like just around here. Maybe leave like the stuff, like all these little knees tucked in and kind of these back panels, leave them because they would be underneath, they wouldn't be super bright. So yeah, let's give that a try. Cool, yes, I've just touched up some of the edge highlights with a little bit of Thunderhawk Blue, just to brighten some of the tips, especially on this side, like around here on the armour. Like the tops of the armour around here. I didn't really do any in the bottom because I thought down here would be quite dark, I guess. Some on the head and the helmet and the top. So one thing I do want to do before we start tidying up and washing is I just want to do one more little bit of edge highlighting on the Ultramarine skull, to be fair. So yeah, I've just got some Calgar Blue here. We're just going to do a little bit of edge highlight on that, only a tiny bit across some of the tops. Cool, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all of the colours, the highlights, everything, all on it, and done. So just two more things left to do. What I want to do is just quickly do some tidying up. So there's a couple sections, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Just like, there's like a tooth on the back here that's kind of like overlapped a little bit. Looking at this skull, there's a tiny section I've missed. So yeah, there's a few little areas where there's been some overlaps or some overspills. Just going to patch them up. And also, at the same time, I'm going to try and dial back on some of these highlights. They're quite thick, like here and the shoulder. The legs are a little bit chunky. So I might try and get, oh, especially down here as well, yeah, look at that. So I might just try and get a little bit of black and just try and like feed in a little bit, just kind of tidy it up, like push it to the edges. So yeah, there's not much really to show for this, so I'll just tuck the camera up or behind me somewhere. We'll do some fun like cinematic stuff. But yeah, just gonna spend, it doesn't really take too long to be honest, so like 5-10 minutes of just little bits here and there. And after that we can get onto the washes, and that's it, we're done. Cool, so that's all the tidying up done. I've just buffered up some of the layers that needed a little bit more like reinforcement, tidied up some of the shoulder pads. They're a bit too thick, and I will say the Amazon Black on top of the Chaos Black isn't that obvious. Not enough to warrant putting a whole fresh layer on, so that's good. But yeah, just sort of cleaned up some of the shoulder highlights that were sort of popping out a bit too much. Some areas I missed. A couple of little, these teeth were like overflowing. But no, looking nice and clean. I've also chucked some Armageddon dust on the base just because it takes forever to dry. So I thought it'd be good to put it on now, and hopefully it'd be dry in time for me to do like some Agrax Earthshade or some grey dry brushing or something before the review. So that's everything done, all the paints, all the layers, all the highlights. The last thing in this book, even though we've kind of added some extra steps in ourselves. But yeah, so what does the book say about shades? We've got Nuln Oil for the weapons, the red cloth and the fur that's on, I think, just his shoulder for this guy. And then after that we've got Agrax Earthshade for all of the bones and the tusks. And then we've got some Reikland Fleshshade for the armour trim and the gold details and the weapon. So we'll do that, we'll do Nuln Oil, then Earthshade, and then Reikland Fleshshade. We can do a little review. Here we go, under this mug, our fully painted and built and done little Chaos Space Marine. Yeah, look at this little guy, he's well cool. I'm a big fan of this stouty little thick boy, and look at that gun. Oh, it's so stupid. Well, that might be my favourite thing I've ever done. Not even for the paint job or like how much fun it was to paint, just the sheer stupidity of it. I love it. It's so funny. But no, I love this model. It's super cool. It was really different to paint as well. Like, it was heavy on the trim and the highlights, and not too many little details. So it's a slightly different style to what I'm used to, but it was super fun to do. So if we go from the top down, these little things to glue on were a nightmare. And also I just noticed I missed a couple of sections on the skulls for the Agrax Earthshade. So just quickly slap a teeny tiny bit on them to tidy them up. There. I say one, there's two. The skull and stuff are just teeny tiny little bits. I really liked the helmet. That was one of the things I saw on the combat patrol, and I just thought, that's such a cool, simple idea, and I can't wait to do it. And it was really fun painting a little Space Marine helmet. I'd be keen to do another, like, couple of these guys just for the helmets, you know? Do like an Imperial Fist one, a Black Templar, a Space Wolves. You could do all sorts. So that was really fun. There's not really too many details. Like I said, it was mostly just armor trim. The Tusks were fun and interesting. They had like something really different to the model. I think I put a little bit too much Agrax Earthshade on them though, because they're quite dark. They're quite like stained. I kind of prefer them when they're a little bit lighter. So I think maybe I just put a little bit too much Earthshade on them, but that's okay. The face though, I wonder if we can actually zoom in properly. Yeah, I've just put on the super zoom just so we can get in the face. Look at that. I really like his edge highlighting, you know. I feel like I got a real good like angle on all of his little eyes, his head thing. Like he's got the cheeks, even just the tiny bit above the tusks. It's got like some alright highlighting on it, and yeah, big fan of that. I'll look at that on the side, yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's one thing I really enjoyed about this model, was I felt like I got a real good handle on edge highlighting again. Like I got to really hammer it at home on a lot of things, and it really helped. So yeah, big fan of all the highlighting on his face. The gold trim, I'm not sure if I put too much Reikland Fleshshade on or not, but I kind of prefer it when it was a bit brighter and bolder, you know. I wonder if I can grab a picture and just put it side by side. Like if I chuck a picture here, maybe. Like, yeah, I kind of prefer it when it was like brighter and bolder. I mean, it still looks really, really cool. I still like it. Actually, I do. Actually, I don't know, because it's quite dark and dingy, which is what the Chaos Marines are supposed to be, right? So I do quite like that. But yeah, like just a couple of skulls, a couple of little bits and bobs going on that are quite cool, like the little teeth. But yeah, it was mostly just highlighting the armor panels. So if you look at the shoulders here, you can see I tried to do some sort of freehand. It came out a little bit chonky at first, but then dialing it back with the black was quite good. I think if I could change anything in the future going forward, I would, like if I did another one, which I probably will do eventually, but not for a long time, I'd probably do like Thunderhawk blue rather than the Dark Reaper. Just start with a nice bright, or even like a rust grey, just to see what really bold bright it looks like, especially next to those shaded down, darkened gold panels. But no, overall it was super fun. So yeah, similar to the other Terminator I did, like the gun was a bit of a weird one because it's just silver. It's a big block of silver, and I felt a little bit like, oh, there's not much to it. Like I do like these gold skulls on it. It's really, really cool. There's not much other than the silver. But then once you put the Nuln Oil on it, my god, it does some heavy lifting on that weapon. Like it probably adds to the recesses and all the shading and stuff. So yeah, I do like it. It looks really, really cool. I'm not sure what else I would change about it in the future to maybe not make it as silver. I don't know. There's some highlights you can do to sort of add some depth, but it is just a big block of silver. But like I said, so was the other minigun, and the Nuln Oil does like a lot. And I guess just to compare them to the other Terminators I've done, actually, that's a good shout. They seem a little bit shorter, but they're really stouty and really like mean. There's so much extra stuff going on. Like I really enjoyed the Terminators, but like comparing the two, they look a little bit plain. Like they got the Crux Terminatus, the Purity Seals are quite cool, but this guy's got so much going on actually. Like yeah, the Tusks, the trimmed armour, all the spikes. I say there wasn't a lot of detail to paint. Actually there is, you know. But no, overall, big fan of this. It was really, really fun, really different and really cool. There we go, a little Chaos Terminator all done and painted. Our first ever one. He's really cool. I like him. He's super fun. I like how much gold is on him. Yeah, he's proper popping. Like I didn't even realise until like I kind of had him on my desk and I was resetting up this camera. Like he stands out. Like even if you put him in the background, I wonder if like you put him there. I mean, that's too far away to be fair, but yeah, he stands out like loads. Like he's proper bold. Oh no. These videos are my favourite though. I really, really enjoy these projects and these little videos because it's fun sometimes just to like pick up a random model and just paint it with no like bigger picture. Like there's no long-term chaos goal of refining a recipe, like practicing details and getting an army built and like a composition and like a big picture. It's just like a mindless, it's a fun thing to paint, pick it up, spend like 2 hours I think it was. I think I spent, yeah, probably about 2 hours total of painting time across 2 days. Just having fun with it, you know, doing what looks cool and just exploring new colours and new schemes. Yeah, I do enjoy having like a big picture goal, like especially with the Space Wolves at the minute, like trying to refine a recipe, trying to get cool little details down, like working on freehand shoulder patterns. Like it's fun to progress in like a big, huge thing. But it's also kind of cool just to pick up like a fun random little model and just bash it out in like 2 hours or so and just have fun with it and not worry about anything else. So I really enjoy these, they're fun, they're cool. And there he is. Oh, also, this Combat Patrol magazine was banging. It was really good. Like, obviously £10 for 5 Terminators is wild value. Then looking at the back of the next issue is like an Orc something. I won't bother with that. I don't really like the Orcs that much. But like just having the whole like building process, all like the painting was really cool. It was really fun just to see like the whole painting guide, like step by step, to be real simple. I'm not sure what the other game stuff is at the back. Maybe I'll play around with that at some point. But no, just a cool little like, here's £10, here's some models, try it out, here's everything you need. Awesome product. I might keep an eye on it going forward. Speaking of going forward, we'll probably just go back to the Space Wolves after this, just because I'm really enjoying getting through the box and like working on a big army, and just like I mentioned earlier, having that big long-term goal is quite fun. So we'll jump back on that next. I just thought it'd be fun to have a cool little palette cleanser, just a fun little side project to do. And it was. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. So if you like this video, drop us a like and subscribe, and tune in next time. Thank you.